And now we are entering the opening ceremony, and it's time to bring to this stage a man who's making history. I call Sérgio Ribeiro, CEO and co-founder of Planetiers World Gathering, that will enlighten us about the meaning and the importance of these events. A big applause to Sérgio, and two of us would be too much. Thank you, Sérgio.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much to be here and for being here. And Pedro, I don't know if I'm making history or if we're making future. It's different. Thank you so much. And first of all, what can I say? What a year. We started creating this huge event, this huge dream of putting together all the thought leaders, all the change makers, the entrepreneurs, people that are putting real change on the field today, people that could inspire others to also do their part, not only as citizens, but as entrepreneurs, innovators. And I just want to take us back maybe 6 years while I was in my living room with my co-founders, and we were still young, and I don't think we knew, we have no idea what we would do with our lives. That's the truth. But we were trying one thing, that whatever we did, it would lead some legacy. It would be something that would be famous, that we would do today, and tomorrow it would end. And it started with this idea, but when we went to the market and looking what were the opportunities, there were opportunities, but how can I make a living on sustainability? How can I make a living, have a salary? How can I be part of the economy, but be sustainable? We can't take that of our system. We can't ignore that it's an essential part of our lives. Then what we found out was, look, let's promote the best ideas, let's promote the best projects, the best entrepreneurs that are doing this, are creating jobs, are creating economical opportunities inside sustainability, with its core activity, positive environmental impact or social impact. Planetiers was born 3 years ago. 3 years after we started with these ideas, we did some projects, and Planetiers started online with a marketplace to put in everyone's mobile phone and computer solutions and products that are more ecological and responsible for the consumers. We want to make sustainability easy. We want to accelerate transformation, because time is our most valuable asset. And if we're asking people to spend time to be more sustainable, it will be a really tough challenge. So we need also to give the tools to accelerate this transformation. The marketplace was just the first one. And then as we start gathering partners with one idea of bringing this platform, this promotional initiative to the stages, to a venue, that's when the Planetiers World Gathering was born. We wanted to create the best environment, the best ecosystem that could fill 3 variables that we found that were crucial for this transformation, regardless of the role we have in society as citizens, leaders, business leaders, government leaders. The 3 E's we found were, let's say, good guidelines for the transformation. The first one is education. If we don't educate people, if we don't put the information out there accessible, people won't know what to do. People need this information to make the right choices. The second E, it's empowerment. People should know that with this information, they can and must make the difference. They're not just absorbing agents of information, they're active players with this information on society. And then we go to the third one. The third E, it's entrepreneurship. We've been talking about entrepreneurship a lot when we talk about startups, small businesses coming out from scratch. But for me, entrepreneurial spirit is having a problem, whatever it is, and resiliently, continuously find a way to solve it, regardless of any obstacle and challenge that comes in the way. That's entrepreneurial spirit. Of course, part of this entrepreneurial spirit is creating startups, is creating businesses, and that's what we want to promote. But people have, first of all, to have the will and the strength to keep going and trying to solve by their own hands and with a circle of partners. The trees were truly important for us when we put together the Planetiers World Gathering. And then in March, we had this venue expecting thousands of people before this new world we're living in. We had the hundreds of companies coming in. We had hundreds of international media coming to Lisbon because we wanted to show that we can be an international hub for sustainability. And we're doing all the work to be that, to be so. Then the lockdown, COVID happened. The whole world starts to understand what's going on, what's going to happen. And we were not the only impacted people by this. But we wanted at least to do what we thought that should be done. We should keep going. We should be resilient. We should have this entrepreneurial spirit embedded in everything we do here. So the why, we had to go back to the why. Why were we doing this? To find out how we should keep going. And the why was really clear. We're doing this, we got to the basics, we rewinded everything since the beginning, and we found that the thing that we should deliver is inspiration with talks. We need to promote networking, even with the conditions that we have, somehow to build bridges, to create new projects, new programs, real transformational programs for the future, because that's the point of this event. The outcome is projects of cooperation, and of course, an exhibition of the best examples in this sector. The why was there. Then we had to decide the what and the how, and that was the biggest challenge. We found that having a hybrid event with these conditions, it was possible to not only have an experience, a unique experience as we are having here, but also to bring a unique experience to the ones that are at home, virtually connecting with us, watching the panels and the amazing discussions such as the ones that we have already here and we'll have until tomorrow. And also network in a 3D virtual arena where they can explore the exhibition booths, they can talk between other attendees, and then that was the how and the what. That wouldn't be possible without the partners, of course. The Turismo of Portugal played a major role for us to keep going, because when this happened, they told us to keep going. Freezing is not the solution when we're dealing with a crisis. We have to make decisions according to hope, based on hope. We can't make decisions on uncertainty. We have to make plans for uncertainty, but we have to make decisions based on hope. The Lisbon municipality in City Hall, the same thing, gave us a lot of support to bring this amazing gathering, hybrid formats, physically and virtually, as one of the flags for this award that we're all very thankful to Lisbon of the European Green Capital. And of course, our amazing partners as Altice Portugal and Crédito Agrícola, Group Crédito Agrícola, Superboc, and Nissan, that since the beginning gave us the strength to say we should keep going. We can't wait for others to have the resilience we have to ourselves. And you had the right spirit in yourselves that we needed for the whole essence of the event. Just one more thing. One of the things that we've been talking is we have now the moment to create a new system, a new economy, inclusive and green economy, like Professor Mohan always says and said this morning. We should do that. And for me, I believe the best way to honor the ones that suffer the most this year and that will keep going with this impact of the crisis is to keep going. Create new projects, new ideas, put creativity in place. Stop is not a way to honor those people, is to keep going. And that's one of the strengths that kept us going and to put this together. And I hope you had an amazing time during these 2 days. I hope you had an amazing leverage for what we want to do for the next years. And I'll tell you that if you want to change the future, we really have to start now, and that's what I would ask you all. Thank you so much for being here, and we're always available to talk for these 2 days and so on to create a transformational and sustainable society and market. Thank you.
Sérgio, you're already out. Thank you so much for your words. I would like to make an interview, but maybe afterwards. Do you want to step in again? So I know there were a lot of hard work, a lot of hours without sleeping. And how do you feel that what is happening in this stage, what is happening on very other stages, and the people that are here and are following us all over the world?
It's a great way to acknowledge at least the work that we've been putting, the nights that we didn't sleep. We have several people.
Yes, yesterday we were talking about
during
each
the
other.
nights,
2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning. I had my baby daughter and son crying in the other room. It was a huge challenge for everyone. And this example of personal challenges that I had because
and personal commitment.
Personal commitment is everything in a group. And we have a group full of personal commitment. I have to acknowledge that also for all the team. Everyone involved made this possible. And it's so great to see you all also because I feel it's a way to tell the team that it was worthy, all the work.
And tell the world that the messages that we are telling here, they are worthwhile living and worthwhile fighting for.
Exactly.
Sérgio, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pedro. Thank you.
It's time to call on this stage our good and dearest friend, Fernandes, Deputy Mayor of Lisbon Council, to offer an award of Lisbon 2020 European Green Capital to Sérgio Ribeiro, Jorge Vinha da Silva, CEO of Altice Arena, and Alexandre Fonseca, CEO of Altice Portugal. No.
Only two.
Who was wrong? So I'm just these two.
Sérgio and
Okay.
Don't, Pedro, don't get carried away with the prizes, okay?
it's my knife. Thank you very much. This is the symbol of the compromise of Lisbon Green Capital 2020. We give this to who are with us in this compromise. So it's an honor in behalf of Lisbon to give you, like this, my knife, to give to the Altice Arena. It's a piece of Bordal Pinheiro.
And it's very beautiful.
I think it's very nice.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
You want some more? Okay, give it to me. No problem.
Again, the knife. And to Sérgio,
the detail of the knife is very nice. To have a knife in the pockets and to cut things is very nice. So I should follow this this lesson. Yeah, it's very
Resourceful.
It's also nowadays a symbol of we resist and keep going. I think it's like we want to Lisbon shoes evolve. I think is a good symbol. And thank you, Sérgio. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And with the crow on the top.
Yes, of course.
The symbol of Lisbon. And congratulations to the green capital of Europe.
And tomorrow, I'm going to give you one of these.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm very pleased. Thank you.
Obrigado.
I now Alexandre Fonseca, CEO of Altice Portugal, will present us the strategy of Altice towards sustainability. And Alexandre, maybe you'll get a word too. Who knows? Alexandre, the stage is yours. Welcome.
Of course, to start with some special greetings, starting with the Secretary of State of Tourism, Rita Marques, also with Lisbon Mayor, Fernando Medina, the Councillor of Lisbon Municipality, Fernandes. Of course, a special greet to our host, to the co-founder of Planetiers, Sérgio Ribeiro, and also to my dearest friend, Licínio Pina, the Chairman of the Board of Caixa de Crédito Agrícola. Well, given this moment, it's a pleasure for me to be with all of you. I would like to start by thanking the invitation for sharing today some of the visions and thoughts that we have towards two topics which are crucial for Altice: innovation and sustainability. These are two topics that are behind the event that brings us together here, but also two topics, and in particular sustainability, a topic that should be in the agenda of every big company and every executive throughout the world. That's exactly the vision that I will share, our own personal vision and our personal view towards these two topics. Having said this event has, I would say, very ambitious objectives. The number one objective is to educate for sustainability. Sérgio already spoke about the relevance of people knowing and understanding before taking decisions. The second objective is to empower people, to empower companies. And the third objective is to promote sustainability, entrepreneurship, and ideas. The transformation from ideas to real projects in the real world. This objective also aims at providing some answers to a relevant topic of sustainability. Questions like, how do we improve people's life? How do we improve the quality of life of every citizen? Questions like, how do we create a more environmental and socially responsible world? How do we live a life full of dreams with sustainable projects and entrepreneurial ideas? It's true that today we are living in a world, in an era marked by a global pandemic, an era that has challenged us all, that concerns us all, that worries us all, an era where we've seen headlines throughout the world about this global pandemic. But it's exactly in these moments that it's fundamental not to stop. The world cannot stop, and we need to continue our journey towards creating a better world. This because our issues, our constraints, our challenges and our problems, they will prevail. And this is why sustainability needs to keep on the agendas of leaders worldwide. And besides being on the agenda, as we've also heard before, we really need to act. And we need to act because there is a world after the pandemic. And if we want that world to be a better world to live in, that's why we need to act. This is also true because I would say that it's undeniable today. Citizens, companies are getting more and more demanding about the environment, demanding about mobility, demanding about the importance and value of our heritage, demanding about energy consumption or energy production, but also demanding around services and about infrastructures that provides to us all our way of life. And this is why we are gathered here today. We are gathered here today because of one word that links all of these concepts together. And that word is sustainability. A single word that encompasses something that transcends us all, the future of humanity. Born out of the importance and relevance of ethics and values, sustainability moved to a greener meaning when we all become aware, the urgent awareness of the planet's climate changes that affect us all. But now, in the 21st century, sustainability is more than that. Sustainability becomes a philosophy of how we act and how we do things, a philosophy of life and, if you want, for life. Knowing exactly how to adapt, always wanting to do more, always wanting to overcome ourselves. This is Altice's DNA. And this is also why we consider ourselves a human company. And yes, we are a technology company, but we are a human company because we work hard every day in our ecosystem, with our partners, with our customers, exactly to get awareness that technology doesn't need to be that cold and distant thing that we use in our day-to-day lives. Technology can be designed, can be developed by people and for people, with the ultimate goal of improving people's lives. With the global pandemic that we've been struggling with in the last few months, I would say that before this global pandemic, for most of us, technology was a way to keep apart people that were physically close. But now, I would say that it's unanimous, that nowadays technology is the way to keep closer people that are far, far away physically. So this is the relevance of technology. And this is why we have invested in the last few years in deploying infrastructures and services, communication services that combine and that bring people together. The new highways, the new information highways that connect people together, that will bring the new digital revolution. This is why we have deployed over 5.3 million households in optical fiber in Portugal, 85% of the Portuguese households. This is why our mobile networks get to over 99.5% of the population. And why we're doing this? Because by doing this, we are creating equal access to everybody to the digital transformation, to the digital era, to the new information highways that will for sure improve people's lives. When we deploy optical fiber in 27,000 places throughout the 308 municipalities of Portugal, when we roll out 4.5 million kilometers of optical fiber throughout the country, this is the relevance of the new information highways. And we know that this investment is critical to improve people's lives because investment in infrastructures, it's a way to attract investment. And attract investment creates jobs. And creating jobs, it's what retains people in their home countries, in their hometowns. This is what we've been doing with this investment, to create a real lever for the economic regional growth, to allow to fight the digital divide that still is present in our country, but also, and very importantly, to create equal opportunities for every citizen, regardless of where he lives, regardless of his economic or social status. This is our goal, and this is why we invest in infrastructures. We are promoting and being an agent of the digital transformation of families, of companies, of the society, and of our economy. But when we speak about technology and sustainability, we need to understand that also technology per se, technology in its core, needs to have sustainability also in everything that we do. When we align our business strategy with our technology strategy, sustainable objectives are today an important part of every project we do in technology. Examples of what I'm telling you. We have 5,000 mobile sites throughout the country, and only 1.7% of them are in protected areas. And even those that are in protected areas have special care in terms of the deployment of the materials and components that we use. And even at landscaping perspective, we have special cares on the natural landscape where these sites operate. Another example is that for reducing the carbon footprint and for reducing energy consumption, we have been fostering and we've been leaders in the sharing of infrastructures. 25% of our infrastructures today are already being shared with others. And also, energy efficiency programs have been in place for several years in Altice, improving, of course, what is our energy consumption and reducing our carbon footprint. Even our data center, our biggest data center in the country, it's now run 100% with green energy. And a big part of it, it's produced by our own solar plant on premises. Finally, on this, also to say that even on the recycling guidelines, even on the criteria selection of materials and components that we use in our technology products, we follow the best practices worldwide. We want materials that are planet-friendly, and we want to continue to work to have a technology which is a technology that we used to say it's a technology with a human touch, a technology that cares. Speaking again about the moment, this era that we are living with, the pandemic has brought to us all several impacts. Impacts on our day-to-day life, but also impacts for several industries and segments. This impact that we have, it's been tremendous on the telecommunication sector as well. We have been impacted by the fact that people went home, families, entire families working, studying, communicating from their premises, from their houses, creating huge peaks of traffic on our networks. And the good news is that our networks were able to cope. Our optical fiber networks, our Wi-Fi networks, they were all able to cope with this tremendous impact. This is why I do believe it's fundamental to recognize the important role that communication had in this very demanding process and period of our lives. It's important to recognize the importance of technology, the importance of communications. And this is why our motto has never been so current. Our motto has never been so relevant. And our motto is very simple, is to connect people to life. And that's what we have been doing. Examples of what we have been doing in terms of sustainability, besides, of course, all the projects that we are doing in telecommunications, I would like to share just a few to understand when I say that we want to go further and want to be leaders, an example in society, what are we speaking about? We are speaking of being also a company that brings causes and defends causes. Causes like the fight against domestic violences. Causes like the one you've just seen about unwanted shapes. To promote the non-use of plastic in our coastal areas, to promote the collection of unwanted plastic in our beaches, to ensure that one of the cornerstones of our economy, tourism, also benefits from it. Examples like this also, for instance, when we work with several municipalities throughout the country, because we understand the challenges of municipalities, the tremendous growth of population in cities, and the consumption of resources, the need to optimize resources for this tremendous growth and accelerated growth of the cities. This is where technology can help to improve people's lives, which is the ultimate goal of every mayor, of every leader in every municipality. This is why, again, just to finalize, why we've created a sustainability committee internally. A committee which is aiming at promoting initiatives and projects that will help us be more aligned and more in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Objectives. And also we want to continue by doing this to be a real example for society. Ladies and gentlemen, as I told you, this is our core. This is our focus, to connect people with life on a balanced and sustainable way. As a company, our culture needs to envision exactly this strategy. We need to be and act more socially responsible. We need and act to be more humanizing the technology and to be part of a better future. We are all living longer. Life expectancy has grown in the last 10 years. But the question remains, are we really living better? This is a challenge that we need to address. And this is why we are promoting our people to ensure resource optimization, the use of circular economy, the reuse of equipments and the components, but also to act on a more, I would say, sustainable and coherent way, to act, as we usually say within Altice, together. And together has no limits. This is why we work together to build a better Altice, to build a better Portugal, to build a better world. And these are the challenges ahead. This is why I challenge you. Dare to dream. Dare to act. Dare to be more innovative and to be more sustainable. On my side, I am a Planeteer, and I commit myself to promote environmental and social responsibility to build a better world. You can count on us, you can count on me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alexandre, for your fine presentation. Very impressive. We can only lead this transformation by technology, and we have to be socially responsible and with sustainability. And I promised myself that I wouldn't make any questions to you about Anacom or 5G or Huawei, and I'll stick to that, and I'll stick to that to the end. Because it's a very finest moment, and we are looking to the future, not present things that are not so important. Thank you. So now let's get on with another presentation. Isabel Matos, Director of Communications of Crédito Agrícola, will explain how sustainability and proximity to the communities in all territory will help to achieve the important goal we have been talking about and the strategy of Crédito Agrícola. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon. Sorry. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Isabel Matos. I'm the head of communication office at Crédito Agrícola. I'm speaking on behalf of our CEO. Crédito Agrícola is a cooperative group with exclusive national capitals. We have over 400,000 associates, 1,500,000 clients, and 600 branches all over Portugal, including Madeira and the Açores. As a universal bank, Crédito Agrícola offers a wide range of financial products and services for private and corporate clients, while providing all the latest digital platforms. We were pioneers in offering innovative payment service to our customers. The first bank to introduce contactless in Portugal, offering the first chip payment card and the first vertical card, as well as the pioneers in providing payments through Apple Pay. We are the bank with least complaints in the Portuguese financial sector. In over 100 years of activity, we have contributed to the economic, social, and cultural development of the regions where Crédito Agrícola exists. As we have done so far, we wish to contribute to the sustainable development by promoting economic and social prosperity, channeling our investments into activities that promote a green, circular, carbon neutral, and inclusive economy. We aim to be a reference of inclusion, sustainability, and innovation, keeping the national trust and recognition of this financial group. These are the reasons that led us to associate to the Planetiers, the biggest event for sustainable innovation. I am a Planetiers. Thank you.
It's now time for a compromise towards the future. This is a very important moment in this event. We will be signing a letter of intentions to preserve and work for the future and the well-being of the planet. Planetiers World Gathering takes place in Lisbon as a starting point for the future. Planetiers World Gathering, the world's largest sustainable innovation event, begins in Lisbon today at the Altice Arena. Besides an event, Planetiers World Gathering is a really starting point as part of the Planetiers ecosystem, and through Planetiers New Generation, it will promote a 10-year sustainable transformation program for the Portuguese territory. The first step taken here today at this stage. So let me invite Planetiers New Generation, Turismo de Portugal and NEST, Turismo Innovation Center Portugal, through Luís Araújo, President of Turismo de Portugal, João Ricardo Moreira, Board Member of NOS, representing NEST, and Sérgio Ribeiro, CEO of Planetiers, will be signing the letter of commitment in the pursuit of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for the next decades. Luís, tudo bem? Gostei de vê-lo. This protocol aims to develop a multidisciplinary program with initiatives that project Portugal to the forefront of innovation and sustainability, placing Portugal as an international reference for knowledge, innovation and sustainable entrepreneurship. The purpose is very clear: to capture, mobilize and transform societies, creating an international hub for innovation and sustainability in Portugal, and putting into practice a program of transformation and disruptive investments. Am I talking too much? No. Okay, I'll go on. This letter of commitment to sustainable innovation strives 6 fundamental objectives. Let me guide you through these 6 objectives. First one, to establish in Portugal organizations that lead the world in knowledge and exponential growth processes. The second one, to promote international co-creation, placing tourism activities in the center of an ecosystem of sustainable companies and territorial cohesion. The third one, to capture investment for sustainable and regenerative projects. The fourth one, to implement future-fit models and regenerative projects in territories and companies linked to tourism activities. And the fifth one, to develop national and international education and communication programs. And finally, the 6th point, to communicate Portugal at a national and international level as a sustainable and innovative destination for a quality of life. To the follow of this protocol, now we have the protocol in the hands, and we'll be signing it in a virtual way. We must say that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. The importance is the commitment, and we'll present all of it together.
Yes, the importance is the commitment that exists, and we have explained, and is a starting point here in Lisbon. So congrats for this commitment.
Thank you.
An applause, please. Thank you.
Just a few words very quickly, because this commitment is more than a protocol and a commitment. It's actually already an impact of what this event means, because we're already working with international partners, with national partners, and putting everything that is the next level of sustainability on a strategy that aimed already from the Turismo of Portugal, with representation also with the innovation lab, let's say, incubator of the Turismo of Portugal NEST. So more than a commitment, this is a way of showing that from this event and from these amazing partnerships that we're building, we'll put together great projects and we'll do everything to become Portugal an international hub for sustainable innovation, a place where anyone in the world can recognize it is a fertile soil for sustainable businesses, for sustainable tourism and sustainable society. So thank you so much. Thank you to Luís Araújo and Turismo de Portugal. Thank you a nós and representing NEST for being here, and let's aim for the future together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sérgio.
Thank you.
All that I have been reading, you have said it with a natural way, and for a Planeteer, that's really is what it is. Thank you so much, Sérgio. So to the follow of this protocol, now I call on this stage Rita Marques, the Portuguese Secretary of State of Tourism, that will bring us the importance of the strategy that Portugal will follow in the next years in order to enlarge and enhance the topics that we've been talking. Olá, Rita.
Olá, viva.
Be our guest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pedro. Hello, everyone. Wow, the light is quite strong. Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be with you today. I'm so excited to be on the stage And most importantly, you know, I'm more excited, or I'm really excited to take part in this great adventure. You know, a lot has been said about the commitment. We are all Planetiers for sure, but we want to be more. Yes, we want to be pioneers, right? Pioneers in the planet. And though it's so good to be with you today, because this shows that we can speak up, you know, shout out in a unique voice, strong voice, that we can change the world. We can craft a new world. And so it's very important for us to be, you know, united, virtually, everyone, you know, united, even virtually, as I was saying, and showing that we are committed to be Planetiers and to be pioneers. A couple of years ago, 4 years ago, I have to tell you, tourism has put sustainability in our core agenda, in the agenda of tourism development. Back in 2016, we defined a strategy for tourism development here in Portugal, and we defined a set of priorities. And guess what? The major priority was, in fact, sustainability. To be more sustainable, to work towards a better Portugal, a better experience, a tourism experience, to better Europe, to a better world. And so a lot has been done since 2016, but our main core strategy was about sustainability. And so we wanted at that time to show that we cared. We care about the planet. We care about the tourism industry in our planet. But a lot has been throughout these years, and we thought that maybe the message "we care" was not enough. We need to share, right? We need to share what we have been doing so far in Portugal, and that's why we have been very active, with innovation, with entrepreneurship, passing these great messages to the corporate world, to startups, corporations, big ones, small ones. It doesn't matter. As long as we keep together fighting for a better world. And so, at the first step, we showed that we care. But in the second step, we show that, we need to share. And Portugal has been considered to be, a test bed, a good test bed for showing to test new solutions, construction, seamless experience, travel, disruption solutions. And I'm very proud to say that at this stage, Portugal is really, on the top frontier, in the top mindset of everyone, claiming, that we have here in Portugal the best capabilities, the best talent to show that we can do it. Yes, we can do it. But it's not enough, And a lot has been said here in this stage because we need to, we need to show that we care. We need to show that we can do it, but we need to dare ourselves. And that's why it's very important to be innovative, to be, disruptive in the solutions that we can embrace. And that's pretty much what we have been doing so far. Yeah, we know that education is really a key issue. We need to work together with talented people. Yes, of course, we know that entrepreneurship is really important. Corporate corporations, big corporations are all very important. But, the government side, the public side should really, give an example. And that's pretty much what I've been doing, trying to do here in Portugal. So I really, as I was telling in the beginning, I'm really excited to be here today, not only to be a Planetier for sure, but also to be a pioneer. Portugal can be really a pioneer and show that we can change the world. And you guess what? It's in our hands to change it for a better world. So please join us in doing that, in achieving that great goal. And everybody was talking about the young generation. Yes, of course, young generation could have a very active voice throughout this process. But most of all, if all of us could be united, fighting for a better world, I really believe that in very soon, very soon, we'll have good solutions for everyone. So please come aboard, please embrace this challenge, and try, to create the better conditions for us to visit Portugal, of course, to visit Europe, of course, but to visit the world. Let's visit the world, let's embrace the world and make it a better place. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rita. Tourism will have a big impact, a big role on this change that we are starting here in Lisbon. And now to finalize this morning, this first morning of our meeting, and to finalize on a high, I should say, let me call on this stage the mayor of Lisbon, Fernando Medina, that will help us to be better aware how a city like Lisbon will be mobilized to the change that we are also living today, and also the challenge that comes with the award of European Green Capital. Fernando, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Pedro. Good morning to all. I will not waste any second to preach to converters. I assume that everyone in this room, every one of the thousands that are following us online, are Planetiers. I'll just try to use some minutes to put the main three arguments why this is the moment to call for action. And the call for action on sustainability begins with the fact, as the Secretary General of UN has said in the last days, that we don't know and we will never know any vaccine to climate change. So there is no solution to the most striking, most demanding, more urgent, more heavy challenge that humanity is facing. And if our attentions now are focused on the pandemic, behind that is happening, the challenge of climate change is still there. The second is that one of the main lessons that it can take about the pandemic is that sustainability is as strong and clear connection with health and capacity for human beings to live. If it was not clear for everyone, what the pandemic shows is that it attacks much deeper and with much heavier consequences the people that have weakened respiratory systems. We know now by science that the effects of the pandemic are much more severe in regions where the pollution is historically very high. Let's not be afraid about the words and about the facts. The way that we mobilize to save lives in an incredible way all over the countries cannot be less for the people that every year suffer about respiratory disease that is ranking on the top issues about deaths and about low quality of life. And this is a very clear and very direct issue about sustainability and about the future agenda. The second main reason that sustainability and the call to action of sustainability is that now we are discussing what we are going to make with billions and trillions of euros that are going to be spent in the next years for the Recovery Act, for employment, to investment. And there is a choice to make. And the choice is not clear yet what is going to be the result. Let's be clear about this. During the pandemic, we hear very carefully about all the dialogues in the cities, in the streets, all about things. There is a force that is trying to drive us to business as usual. And let's face it, we have that risk that at the end of the pandemic that we hope that can be near, all the pressure on economic side drives to continue putting the money on precisely the areas, the investments, the dimensions that are clearly unsustainable, and many of them that put us in the path of unsustainability that we were and we are even during this pandemic. So the issue is not if we are going to have the money. The investment money is there, is being discussed every day. The question is where we are going to put money. And if the money is going to be invested in a greener, sustainable future, or if not. Or if we are going to lose the opportunity, or even worse, if we are going to deepen the problem because we are going to put a lot of money investing in the things that put us in an unsustainable path. And this is the second main reason because this debate, this call to action, this call to mobilization is so important at this moment, because it's a choice that is being made by governments, by parliaments, by local authorities, by leaders of entrepreneurial associations, by leaders of trade unions, everywhere. The discussing is being made, political statements are being made, decisions are being made, opinions are being emitted, and it is a choice that we are collectively are doing at this moment. So, not saying anything new for someone that is converted to the cause, but probably trying to tell why this mobilization is so important for us at this moment, that we are aware that now it is being taking important decisions that are going to shape our future for, in many cases, for decades. So I want to be clear what are the choices that Lisbon is making at this moment. What we decided is that we need to use this moment, we need to use this opportunity to go much faster on our agenda. Our agenda is clearly a sustainability agenda. We were awarded the European Green Capital 2020 award, and I said at the ceremony that we received that award, not a career award that we receive when we are 70 years old or we are retiring. No, we received the award as a symbol of what we can do to mobilize everyone for the cause. And what we decided is a very clear agenda to put money on the actions that really make the difference. Let me talk clearly about basic and important things. Public transport systems. Public transport systems work. We don't need rocket science. Okay, we need rocket science for other things, but we don't need rocket science for these challenges. Public transport, sustainable public transport systems, efficient public transport systems work because they reduce the pollution used by cars, they reduce the time using on commuters, they reduce CO2 emissions, they work. It's not rocket science, it's a political decision. Affordable housing for young people and middle classes in the cities. Why should people live very far from where they work, very far from where they have their kids in schools, very far where they have culture, very far where they go shopping? They shouldn't. They shouldn't because they have the right to live in city centers, in the places that they want, but basically because if we have a city that works in a short cycle where everyone can make their lives nearby, or using a bicycle, or going by walking, or using a public transport system that works well, their life is going to be much better, but our life is going to be much more sustainable, much less CO2 emissions, much more ability to live a sustainable life. So the second area is investing in affordable housing, investing in sustainable housing, investing in houses that are constructed with the ability of very net zero emissions. We can do that. Once again, it's not rocket science, it is invented. The technology is there, just use it, just put it. Third, very difficult debate is the debate about public space. What we are making here in Lisbon is an incredible change, obviously not all times easy. When we begin debating cycle lanes, there is always a very enthusiastic debate in the city, but it's a question basically about who owns the public space. Who the scarce resource that is public space in a city, where should we use it? By whom? When? Who has the right to own it? And the choice that we make is that public space is for people. It's for persons, for human beings. It's not for cars. It's not for pollution. It's not for individualism. And this is a choice that has a consequence on creating parks, on rehabilitating urban areas, of creating cycle lanes, of creating a commuting system for public transport, on creating and changing the way that people live in the city. So The second reason of the call to action is that we don't have the excuse of the lack of money. Let me be clear about that. The question is that where the money is going to be invested in the next decade. And we have to be very clear and sound and loud about this choice. The third and the last one is about we need to enlarge the group of people that is supporting our cause. It's not talking to ourselves, it's adding more people to this. Because obviously we need good politicians, we need sound policies. We cannot go with bad policies and bad politicians, they don't work, we know it. But they are not enough. It's not enough, we need much more than that. We need good companies. We need good companies with good corporate policies. And I want to thank very much all the companies that supported Planetiers, that supported this event, this organization. I want to thank you in the name of City of Lisbon, your trust, because your trust is on Planetiers, but for us it is very important that you made that act. Turismo de Portugal, to all the institutions that supported this event. And we need more. We need more companies like that, that make this support, that make this cause, that assume in their scope of action they are making difference and concrete action. And third, we need to mobilize society. Because everyone is an actor of change, an actor of change. And the actor of change is very important on the concrete actions, but let me finish about what is probably one of the most important and decisive debates and positions that everyone is having. There is nothing more global, there is nothing more common to human beings than the cause of sustainability. The biggest enemy of the sustainability debate is the separation, isolation, racism, nationalism, the way that one can go together by itself, isolated. That's the big enemy of this debate. Because it's impossible to have a debate about a common cause for someone that is investing a debate about isolation, about separation, about difference, about racist attitude. It's impossible to say that type of speech is completely impossible to match with sustainability. So one and last very important thing that we are very proud here in Portugal, but we should fight every time to this, is to keep us as a very open, tolerant city and society, open to diversity, open to tolerance, able to speak loudly and use the price, use the voice, use the weight of Lisbon to say that we are an open, tolerant city. This is our values. This is what we are. This is what we are going to be for us and for the future of all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Fernandes. I was telling, don't go away, because it's time to call all the partners to have a photo, because we are finishing this first morning of work, and before the lunch break, we should be all here on the stage for a photo with the social distance, please. Come aboard. Yeah, mais atrás possível, yeah. Okay. And I was saying this is our mayor, our man that is transforming Lisbon and making Lisbon a beautiful capital without cars. That's his vision, like Martin Luther King had the vision about the future. Thank you so much, Fernandes. Exato. Ok. Tu vais desligar aqui para o meio.
Bem, isto é tudo um desafio extra aqui, até para a fotografia.
Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Welcome to Altice Arena. For your safety, please keep your mask on at all times. Circulate on your right and keep the distance. Thank you.